Big name brands are speaking out after videos online have been popping off with Chinese manufacturers claiming they can sell you the same luxury items for a fraction of the price.
You pay $4,400 for a Mitas Tudor Black Bay monochrome. You pay almost $10,000 for a Rolex Submariner. And a Royal Oak Extra Thin, it costs like $36,000. Cheap is not a word that applies.
The watch is often blurred. However, when you come to Guangzhou, you cannot see any problem just by looking at the appearance. What you need to be careful about is that the low quality movement inside will be sold at a high price.
My suggestion is you can try it first or buy it for a legal way. I'm Sean. See you next time.
I did some digging and I found the watch manufacturers. There is a new scandal coming out of the luxury watch division. Listen.
95% of the world's watches are made here, including the one you're wearing right now. Many big brand watches are produced or sourced for parts from here. This place is Shenzhen City, the world watch capital city.
Forget Switzerland. Welcome to Shenzhen, China, the real watch capital of the world. From luxury icons like Rolex and Omega to $50 replicas flooding your Instagram feed, they all trace back here. And here's the kicker. Some of those $20,000 watches, they roll off the same factory lines as the fakes. Yeah, this is the secret the luxury world hoped you'd never hear. But now TikTok's blowing it wide open, insiders are spilling tea, and even Rolex is quietly slashing prices.
Most Swiss watches are actually made in China, and the reason that replicas often look just as good as the original is that they are made in the same factory.
What's happening behind the scenes is shaking the entire industry, and if you care about watches, money, or hype, you'll want to stick around, because this story, it's about to get messy.
We're gonna see a real flip in a lot of things, whether it comes to who buys luxury goods and perception of luxury as well.
So how did Shenzhen, a city most people can't even find on a map, become the global king of time? It's wild when you think about it. Just a few decades ago, Shenzhen was a quiet fishing village near Hong Kong. Fast forward to today, and it's the manufacturing nerve center of the planet, churning out smartphones, laptops, and yes, watches. Lots of watches. Over 95% of the world's watches are made here, from $10 flea market finds to the same high-end pieces you see gleaming on celebrity wrists.
Before I was fired by one of the world's largest Swiss watch companies for actually talking about this kind of stuff on TikTok, I worked on some of their watches dating back to the 70s that were mainly made in China. So this has been going on for at least 50 years.
And here's where things get spicy. The Swiss brands we grew up idolizing, Rolex, Omega, Tag Heuer, aren't as Swiss as they want you to believe. A massive portion of their parts come straight from Chinese factories. We're talking dials, bracelets, bezels, cases, even sapphire glass. Why? Because Shenzhen does it faster, cheaper, and with a level of precision that's hard to match anywhere else.
Almost all of the movement's the thing that makes this thing tick, is done in China, and then they'll take one component that might be a little bit more expensive. Usually it's something like the rotor, the thing that makes it automatically wind, and they'll just slap that on, and they'll make sure that that is 60% of the cost. Now, it also has to be manufactured in Switzerland, but what does that actually mean? It just means that they have to put this little crystal on here, the lens of the watch. As long as they slap that on in Switzerland, they can call it a Swiss watch.
But this isn't just about cheap knockoffs. Shenzhen's top factories are crafting pieces with high-end metals, ceramic bezels, sapphire crystals, the same materials luxury brands brag about in their marketing. And here's the twist. Some of those factories are allegedly part of the very supply chains that serve the big names. Yup, the line between luxury and replica is paper thin, and lately, they've stopped hiding. TikTok is overflowing with unboxings, behind-the-scenes factory tours, and workers casually showing off assembly lines. You've got middlemen taking custom orders, influencers flexing B-grade homages, and watch fanatics tapping into underground Telegram and WhatsApp groups to skip the boutique and go straight to the plug.
They offer a wide range of styles to choose from, maintain strict production standards, and can support customization, starting from just 50 pieces. What? Worry about them are just middlemen? You contact them directly.
The old luxury rulebook, it's been set on fire. Shenzhen's running the show now, and the world's finally catching on. Okay, but here's the part that really blows people's minds, the label. You know that tiny Swiss-made mark at the bottom of a luxury watch dial? The one that screams craftsmanship, prestige, old money vibes? Yeah, it doesn't mean what you think it means. Most people assume Swiss-made means the entire watch was handcrafted by old-school artisans in some snowy Swiss village, right? Wrong. According to Swiss law, only 60% of the watch's value value has to come from Switzerland.
So when you think Swiss made, you're imagining this bespoke factory in Switzerland with mountains in the background, with artisans working really hard to make exquisite timepieces. That's not the case. So how do they get away with calling it Swiss made if most of it is manufactured in China? Well, it's a little loophole where as long as 60% of the total cost of construction happens in Switzerland, they can call it Swiss made.
And here's the kicker: value can include branding, marketing, and even the final assembly. So picture this: an Omega case, bracelet, and dial are made in Shenzhen. They're shipped almost fully complete to Switzerland. A technician drops in the movement, maybe buffs it a little, boom, it's now Swiss made. You just paid $6,000 or more for something that was mostly built in China with a Swiss stamp slapped on top. And this isn't new. This loophole has been around for years, but it stayed hidden, a carefully guarded secret in the luxury world. Now, thanks to Reddit threads, TikTok exposés, and insider leaks, the truth is out. And the public? Oh, they're not amused. People are realizing they've been sold a dream, that they're buying pure craftsmanship and legacy, when in reality they're paying for clever marketing and a loophole. That's why you're seeing more fans turning to factory direct channels, hunting for so-called OEM pieces. Same build quality, minus the luxury markup. It's not just a pricing debate, it's a trust crisis.
Watches come in different sizes. A small dial makes you with slimmer, while a large one makes you a stronger era. First of all, you need to determine your budget range. The Rolex data just is the best choice for cost effective.
And the fact that the luxury giants are still trying to keep the illusion alive, that's only adding fuel to the fire. Here's where the drama kicks into overdrive. The insiders are starting to talk. For years, the luxury watch world was airtight. Employees signed NDAs, brands controlled the media, and whispers stayed behind closed doors. But now, factory workers, former brand employees, even boutique insiders, they're all pulling back the curtain.
You lot wanting to go to war, we're gonna give you war. They are selling everything. My FYP has been transformed into China.
One former Swiss watch employee went viral after revealing he got fired just for asking too many questions about parts sourcing. He dropped photos showing vintage bracelets, hands, and dials, all stamped Swiss, all coming straight out of China decades ago.
I'm going to fire Harold. Why? The watch is a fake.
What's fake about it?
According to the serial number,
it doesn't correspond to that.
Another clip making the rounds shows an ex-employee restoring 70s luxury watches and discovering that even back then, Asian parts were quietly in the mix. Sometimes the movement was Swiss, sometimes it was a $5 quartz thrown in at the last minute, and no one was supposed to know. Meanwhile, TikTok, YouTube, and Reddit are turning into full-blown watch expose hubs.
The game has changed. You can buy an I-style AP from China. You can buy a Rolex Van Cleef from China. This trade war is not looking good for Europe and the USA. Guys, take a look at this Cartier.
Factory workers are posting videos from assembly lines. Independent creators are breaking down markups and sourcing secrets. And luxury bloggers, let's just say they're sweating because their brands are watching and their ad money is on the line. And here's the social twist: the public loves it. Fans are eating up the leaks, sharing clips, and flooding the comments with jokes about Rolex flexers, Swiss marketing magic, and who's really getting scammed. What started as quiet industry whispers has blown up into one of the loudest conversations in luxury, and the old gatekeepers can't control the narrative anymore. If you want to see where this scandal really exploded, look no further than social media. Fans are not holding back. They're clowning luxury brands, roasting Rolex owners, and sharing hacks on how to cut out the middleman. On TikTok, unboxing videos of factory direct watches are going viral, with creators comparing 500 Shenzhen bills to 20,000 Swiss model, and honestly, the comments are savage. Reddit threads are packed with debates over homage watches, OEM builds, and whether buying direct from China is the ultimate flex. Telegram, WeChat, and WhatsApp groups have become underground marketplaces where collectors bypass the boutiques and go straight to the source. And let's not forget the celebrity angle. Influencers and public figures, they're mostly staying silent. After all, they're still getting flown out to brand events, gifted watches, and paid for posts. But fans, they're calling it out. Why flex a Rolex when it's basically a Shenzhen baby with a Swiss passport? That's the vibe flooding the comments. The public isn't just laughing, they're questioning everything. What's real luxury? What's just hype? And most importantly, why should they pay a 5x markup when the factory's ready to sell them nearly the same product for a fraction of the price? It's a cultural shift playing out in real time. The old rules of status and luxury are breaking down, and the internet is fueling the rebellion. Here's where things take a jaw-dropping turn, because even Rolex, the untouchable king of watches, just flinched. Out of nowhere, Rolex started quietly cutting prices on some of its most iconic models. We're talking the Submariner, the GMT Master 2, the Oyster Perpetual, all seeing price drops of up to 20% in certain markets. No big announcement, no splashy campaign, just hush-hush adjustments handled through authorized dealers in carefully selected locations. And here's the kicker. This came right after the Chinese factory exposés went viral. Coincidence? Watch insiders don't think so. Rolex, a brand built on scarcity, hype, and exclusivity, doesn't just drop prices for fun. Something rattled the throne. In watch forums and collector circles, fans are scrambling to decode the move. Is Rolex trying to stay ahead of the replica wave? Are they adjusting to a flooded secondary market? Or, and this is the spiciest theory, are they trying to distract from the uncomfortable truth about where their supply chains really lead? The watch world is buzzing. On social media, people are posting side-by-side comparisons, speculating about what's next, and asking the big question, if Rolex is cutting prices now, what does that mean for the rest of the luxury market? Because here's the reality. Brands like Rolex survive on mystery, on making you crave what feels out of reach. But once that illusion cracks, once people realize they can get almost the same piece direct from a factory in Shenzhen, that's not just a marketing problem, that's an identity crisis. So here's the million-dollar question. Are luxury watches actually overpriced, or are they worth every penny for the flex they deliver? Let's be real. You're not just paying for steel, sapphire glass, and precision craftsmanship. You're paying for the brand, the mystique, the silent nod of respect when you walk into a room with a Rolex on your wrist. That's the real currency of luxury, the status. But now, the game has changed. Fans know about the factories, they know about the markups, they know that the line between a real luxury watch and a Shenzhen masterpiece is thinner than ever, and they're starting to ask the tough questions. If you can get nearly the same build, the same materials, maybe even the same parts without the massive price tag, does the flex still hit the same, or has the illusion already cracked? Here's where I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Do you think paying luxury prices is still worth it, or is this whole industry just one giant scam? Have you ever bought a replica or considered going factory direct? And if you have, spill the tea. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around, because the next part of this series dives into how the luxury handbag industry is pulling the exact same moves, and honestly, it's even messier. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.